All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about healthcare. We're going to be talking about how non-fungible tokens, essentially and especially SIOs, which is our own version of a non-fungible token that represents the social identity of an object and can be used in the healthcare space. Because I think identity around healthcare is so, so important. So go ahead, Ryan, kick us off.
So I'm jumping right in. So there's a couple of weird sticky problems in healthcare. Everybody talks about them, and I'm going to mention them here just because I'm going to reference them. And so, every body has to have healthcare, right? That's true. The trouble, and to do that, you go through different places to get that healthcare. You go to massage this, you go to doctors or whatever, and every one of those providers has this notion of who you are. On top of that, every institution that's providing you secondary care, that includes things like pharmaceuticals, physical therapy, that kind of thing, right? They also are. Here's a weird thing, though. Nobody ever asks you who you are. The most you get is like a set of questions before you go, and then in the
same set of questions
between
every time.
Yeah, it's the same thing. What's wrong with you? Why are you here? And you're like, you called me. I'm here for a follow-up. That's never a button you can check. You ever notice? Like, I just went through one the other day. It's like, here's my yearly check. Nowhere on the 25-page form is the thing that says you called me and I'm supposed to come back after a year, right? Anyway, but my point, though, is that you're not in charge of who you are, which is a real weird thing. So everybody knows that that's a problem. And what people do is institutions look at it from they look at you as an object in some ways to be dealt with. That's not a bad thing. It's like, they're providing skin care and you have skin, so they're trying to treat that. That's okay. Regular governments are looking at you as a social construct to be protected, defended, or enhanced in some way. Like, we need you to have care, generally speaking. So all those things that have skin are now in a bucket of things that want skin care, or all those things that have skin need to be identified enough so that their skin has no idea who these people actually are, or what they think, or what they care about, or anything like that, right? This is, so the regulators are out there protecting your privacy while making sure you appear in the bucket of things that have skin. And, pharmacies and stuff like that kind of share in the middle, right? They want to know that you're a person so that you're not a reseller or a drug dealer, right? They need to know that you're an individual. But then they want to make their own decisions about how much of their product you can have, for usually insurance reasons, right? At the end of it, though, it's the same person walked into the thing. Nobody actually asks you or cares who you are. So one of the things that the uniqueness of NFTs can do, it's a legitimate history associated with it, is that you can start to make your mark the way you want to make it throughout this entire system. Now, that doesn't mean I'm out here advocating that you become the centralized holder of your health record, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that are asking for that. I don't actually think anybody really wants that, because nobody wants to go and fill out my DICOM images from this X-ray from 7 years ago are expiring, and I need to nobody really wants to do that level of maintaining your own health record. That's stuff that's required. What I mean by that is to say that now you have a place that you can refer to and point to in a quantitative way, the same way all of these other measurements are done quantitatively, that can make your life better, in that you can gain that sort of centralized understanding of yourself, but you can also fix things, right? You can point, like, I share the same first and last name as my father and the same middle initial, where our names are different, right? I can't tell you how many times I walked in somewhere and they think I'm my dad, and I have to go, do I look like I was born in 1949? Right? And they look at me and go, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I wasn't, right? Especially because you're asking me about an injury my dad got in 63 and I wasn't born until 74, right? No, it happens, right? But here's a place where if I had a centralized means of updating my own story, I could pre-tell that. I could pre-fill in all the answers. I could override some of this stuff and say, you know what, that question's not relevant. My foot hurts. You don't need to know how many headaches I have, right? These are the kinds of things that you can do with a common means of doing that, not and still allow the providers to do the good things providers do, like keep your radiology data updated correctly and things like that without you, but you still have a hand in it. And so I think that's what I'm going for with the importance of identity as it's related to healthcare with an NFT. NFTs give you your uniqueness back, and they give you the trail that you're looking for, so that you can be bucketized properly. You can influence. You can become part of a group that can influence better behavior overall, and so that you can isolate parts of your story if you need to be able to protect your own privacy. It's sort of the best of all the worlds. Now, I said that all fast because one of the first things anybody's going to ask is like, yeah, that's all great. How are you going to do that? And most of the approaches are either allow some large entity, looking at you, McKesson and Epic and Cerner, right? You know, let them just win the battle, and then everybody will be on the same system eventually. Well, that's both unlikely, and you'd be beholden again to the other entity's view of what you are, right? On the flip side, you've got government that's like, everyone should take ownership of themselves, and we'll just defend your privacy and we won't worry about anything else. That's also unlikely to happen. What I think is better is come up with a means by which people can start telling that story, can start recording what's happening to them. And over time, it will build up. When people started with social media generally, whether it's Facebook or MySpace or Twitter or whatever, you had a small group of early adopters who became very loud and attracted others. Eventually, social media itself became a force to be reckoned with. And I think that's the same thing that has to happen in healthcare, that you're going to start with some early adopters on all sides from all of those different areas coming together in the middle and being really loud. And then over time, it will become the natural way of doing things. You know, like young folks today who have always had their doctor provider's app on their phone never knew the experience of trying to call and get an appointment or cancel one or move one or try and explain you were stuck in traffic. They don't know that. They just punch in, get an appointment and go. I like that, right? And I think that that's the kind of thing where this will naturally fit in. Once there's a common means of identifying and tracking me without me having to manage the track, then that will allow others to participate in that, augment it, and so on. And so, that I'm going to tee that up with the idea of path and trace, and I'm going to let you take it from there.
That's so cool. That's a nice bridge, because my brain just kept coming to this idea about like my health pass, right? So you have all of these like disparate systems that are all working out there in these silos, and all it takes is me busting out my phone, taking a photo of my health records, and putting it into an SIO that's called like My Health, right? And it's like all of a sudden I've created this thing called My Health Pass, right? It exists in a non-fungible token. There are images associated with it. I have metadata associated with those images. I create an interface that pulls the metadata from those images, puts it together into a cloud interface. And here I am with my health pass, secured by my NFT, controlled by my wallet that has my information on it. I get Ryan to do it. He gets 5 friends to do it. They get 10 friends to do it. We say, look how easy this is. We should all have my health pass. Because if I'm traveling, if I go from the United States to Zimbabwe and I'm in a car accident in my head and I'm unconscious, who has access to my medical records? Are they with me? Are they printed out? Are they lost? Are they gone? You open up my phone, you press a button, there's my health pass. They know everything about, they know my blood type. They know the things that they need to know right now if I need a blood transfusion. Those are the kinds of things that are super important. Let's say I want to go to a new doctor. I want to actually pay at a clinic as opposed to taking advantage of HMOs. If I want the freedom of like not having healthcare and I want to pay as I go, but I want to carry my health records with me, I can. There's freedom in owning your identity and owning who you are in health, and non-fungible tokens can be that, because it creates this distributed system that may have enough trust to get us there. So myhealthpass.sio.com is the new product. We'll have it built by 12:30 today. No, just kidding. It's not that easy, but a prototype really is that easy. A prototype is that easy. Take some photos of your healthcare, put in the information you know about yourself, dump it into your SIO, create an interface for it, and we could have my help. Ryan, we could probably put a team together. If we were heads down, I bet you we can get that MVP built in 2 weeks. And you have my health pass working in a wallet.
Heads down with people who are working.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
I mean, I can get a lot of people with their heads down, but that doesn't necessarily mean.
So there it was. That was 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's good. And I think it is a way to get there, right? Rather than walk in and just solve someone's problem, I think you can just almost create a social network for health and let it slow adopt, because the need is so strong. I think you'll get early adopters on that relatively quickly. I mean, the institutional guys will take a while, but they won't ignore it the same way that they didn't ignore, any of the other social media that's out there.
Yes. I just got a message from my health that I have an appointment next week. And they're like, here, can you log into our portal and pre-fill for everything before your visit? I'm like, how about this? My records are up to date, bro. Press the button.
No.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
Actually, believe it or not, I have 2 different ones that I use here. There's one called Follow My Health and there's one called My Chart. They work with different groups. However, I was now able to take my information from Follow My Health around prescriptions I got, and it had a common enough format that I could import it into the other. I still had to manually do it, but at least that saved me, 5 or 6 of those questions. So it's getting there. But it's getting there in one-offs. It's not getting there as a, general thing, right? So it'll get there.
So there it is. So, I mean, so far we've covered healthcare, we've covered education, imagine SIOs. I'm Raymond, I have my own SIO. You have your own SIO, Ryan. Our complete education history is with us. Our health history is with us, all in the same system, all globally verifiable, unique IDs. Nothing has changed. I'm not logging into different experiences. I now own my health. I now own my education all in one platform. If someone have a football I could spike right now, I just want to spike a football on that, because we're only two explorations into this system, and we already own our healthcare and we own our education. That's amazing, brother. That's so good.
Owning knowledge space is not the same thing as owning the space, but all right.
Yeah, owning the knowledge space. Yeah, obviously. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you learned something. If you didn't learn something, hopefully you were inspired. If you weren't inspired and didn't learn anything, please reach out, because we want to learn from you. This is Ryan and Raymond signing off from Phil Lately.